The woman from the state locked the break room door and said, "Phone's on the table. Nobody clocks out until I get the truth." I've worked at the Riverside Care Home for 3 years, and I have never seen a room go that quiet. She had shown up at the start of our shift, said her name was Ms. Whitfield, and that she was doing a surprise state review. She didn't smile once. She just set a folder on the table, turned the lock, and looked at each of us like she was taking pictures with her eyes. Who worked the East Wing last Thursday between 7 and 9 at night? Nobody answered. 6 of us were on that rotation, including me. She opened the folder and slid out a single sheet of paper. It was a bank statement. Room 214. Eleanor Briggs, 89 years old. Over the past 4 months, someone has been taking cash from her nightstand and 3 weeks ago used her debit card at a gas station 2 miles from here. She let that sit. Eleanor has memory trouble. Whoever did this counted on that. They figured she'd forget or that nobody would believe her. My stomach turned. Eleanor is my favorite resident. She calls everyone sweetheart and keeps butterscotch candies for the staff. The card was used at 8:42 p.m., Ms. Whitfield said, during your shift, and the station has a camera. That's when the room fell apart. Dana pointed at Marcus and said he was always hanging around the East Wing even when he wasn't assigned there. Marcus fired back that Dana had been written up for taking food from the resident's fridge, so maybe she should sit down. Somebody brought up that Priya had been crying about rent money in the parking lot last month, and Priya stood up so fast her chair tipped over. Old fights came roaring back. People who had covered shifts for each other for years were suddenly strangers. Ms. Whitfield never said a word. She had a legal pad out and she wrote something every time someone opened their mouth. She wasn't stopping the argument. She was watching it. I probably wouldn't have noticed Kayla if she weren't sitting right beside me. She hadn't spoken once. Her arms were crossed tight and she was staring at a coffee stain on the table like it might save her. Her foot was tapping so fast the whole bench vibrated. Her best friend on staff, Renee, leaned over. "You good?" "Fine." Renee frowned. Then her face changed, slow, like something clicking into place. "Kayla, last Thursday you told me you left at 7 because your kid was sick, but Friday morning you complained you'd worked a double." The room went dead silent. So which one was it? Kayla's mouth opened and nothing came out. Ms. Whitfield stood, walked around the table, and stopped next to her. The camera at the gas station shows a woman in a green rain jacket with a broken zipper. She looked at the coat hooks by the door, at the green jacket hanging there with a safety pin where the zipper pull should be. "You wore it in this morning." Kayla started shaking her head. "That's not, I would never. Eleanor loves me." "I know she does," the woman said quietly. "She defended you. Even when her own daughter showed her the bank statement, she said, 'Not my Kayla.'" Then she crouched down to eye level. "My name isn't Ms. Whitfield. I'm Susan Briggs. Eleanor is my mother." I felt every hair on my arm stand up. The director told me there wasn't enough proof to fire anyone, and the police said the amounts were too small to prioritize. So I did this myself. She held up her phone, screen glowing. "I've been recording since I locked that door. I have your friend catching you in a lie. I have you in the same jacket from the footage. And I have 5 witnesses who watched you sit there and say nothing while they tore each other apart." Kayla broke down crying, saying she was drowning in debt, that she always meant to pay it back. Susan unlocked the door. The director was standing in the hallway with a police officer, and it was obvious now they'd been in on it the whole time. Kayla was arrested that afternoon. She'd taken almost $4,000. Her family paid back every cent as part of the plea deal. The next week, Susan came back with real flowers for the break room and thanked us, the ones who had nothing to hide. And Eleanor, she still doesn't fully remember what happened. But when I brought her tea that night, she pressed a butterscotch into my hand and said, "My daughter's a tough one, isn't she, sweetheart? She has no idea."